Welcome back to D&J Travels. Lately, we've been getting really into Japanese culture. I find their culture extremely fascinating, and so does this guy right here.
Yes.
Um, Especially Tokyo. I mean, you go downtown Tokyo and you just see the variety of different clothing shops and food
Yeah,
and
it's
just
amazing.
strange things that you would never see here in the United States. It like really piques your interest.
Right.
So we've been getting into more Japanese content recently
Yeah.
and reacting to that.
That's
So
really interesting.
on today's topic, it's things okay in Japan but illegal around the world. So we're about to jump in and find out what that is.
Let's go.
These are shocking laws that are okay in Japan but illegal around the world. So I've made videos before on things that you can't do in Japan because of Japanese law, or unknown laws here in Japan that could get you arrested. But this time I wanted to switch things up and show you guys some laws here in Japan that are actually legal but are illegal in the rest of the world. Many think that Japan is a very strict country, and rightfully so, but when you hear some of these Japanese laws, you may be scratching your head. And to be clear from the start, I don't recommend doing any of these things. I'm not providing legal advice, and this is for entertainment only. But like always, before I start, if you want to see what I'm doing on the daily, check out my Instagram account. If you guys want to help support the channel, then check out my Japan merch. And if you have any questions about Japan or your Japan travels, check out my Discord community. Oh, and let me know in the comments how these laws compare to your country and if you agree or disagree with any of them. Alright, let's do this. Number 1, age of consent. This one is a much debated topic in Japan today, but the legal age of consent is 13 years old in Japan, and one of the lowest in the world. Age of consent referring to the minimum age at which a person is considered to be capable of giving consent to sexual acts. In fact, this has been part of the Japan
Pause.
Penal Code since 19
Pause.
How?
Pause. Dude. 13?
Well, in some of our states, I know it's 16, but typically 18, you're a legal adult and you can consent. But some states have it 16, but 13? Like,
Dude, that's 3 years away from being able to drive.
Like, you don't even have a clue about the world or anything around you or what's happening. Like,
And 8 years from drinking in the US. 13? Dude, that's like,
how can you make up your mind?
that's a
on-
kid, bro. That is
I
a
mean,
kid.
Technically, though, I mean, if you think about US, 11, 12, 13-year-old kids are already having sex here.
I know when I was in middle
regardless.
school, there were kids doing stuff already.
Right.
When I was in like 6th grade. So
But
it's
this-
not like crazy, but
But that's
I think
kids with kids.
Yeah,
this
is
is
an
adult
adult.
with a child.
That's
so
wrong. That is
a
wrong.
little, I'm not down with that.
That's crazy. Okay, continue. Wow.
1907, more than 100 years without change. Interestingly, most prefectures in Japan have statutes and local ordinances that raise the effective age to between 16 and 18 years old, while at the same time leaving some gray area for specific cases. At the end of the day though, the national age of consent in Japan is 13 years old. Number 2, marrying cousins. On somewhat of a lighter note, it's legal in Japan to marry your first cousin. Like many of these laws in the video, it may be legal in some countries, or if you're from the US, in your state. But the truth is, in other parts of the world, marrying your first cousin is still against the law. So I thought this one was worth mentioning. This law dates all the way back to Japan's Meiji period, when it was passed in 1898. It's common enough in Japan that there's a word for it, itoko-kon. In fact, there have been many famous and well-known people in Japan who have married their first cousin. For example, Japan's 56th Prime Minister, who's the grandfather of Japan's more recent Prime Minister, Abe, was married to his first cousin. There were even 2 Prime Ministers after him who were also married to their first cousin. One of the reasons for this law was to allow families to keep their wealth within their family. Fortunately,
Oh.
for those living in Japan today,
So, to do what with their
To
family?
keep the wealth in the family instead of
Oh,
giving it
so
to
another family can't take their wealth from
Yeah,
them. I
'cause
got
you know how
you.
people get divorced and stuff,
Mhm.
and like at least in the U.S., if you're married, and you're married to somebody and you get a divorce, the woman 99% of the time is allowed to take 50% of everything that you've ever built.
Right.
You know, and the courts will side with that
Of course.
100% of the time because
So-
I don't know, that's just how it works here in the U.S. So by doing that, it keeps it in the family. So
But even still, I mean, she would still, I mean, technically keep the money. I mean,
Yeah,
she's
but
still
remember,
getting it.
families are a real thing in Japan. They're not really a real thing in the U.S. anymore.
true.
You know, families are not tight-knitched in the U.S. Over there, they have morals and structure and family values that are still intact till this
Right.
day. And
Yeah,
in the
that's
U.S.,
true.
it's individualistic, so nobody cares about each other here,
That's very
whether
true.
they're family or friends.
No, that's
You
true.
know, it's at the drop of a hat. Once money is introduced, everything just dissolves.
Yeah,
Whereas-
I'm bored. I'm not happy.
Yeah,
My
it's-
feelings are hurt today, so I'm on to the next.
Japan's a little bit different with the whole family. Well, the rest of the world is a lot different with the family culture stuff. Here, it's not really non-existent
No.
anymore.
Who also want to legally spend the rest of their life with their first cousin, Japan is all for it. Number 3, defamation. So this is an interesting one. In Japan, you can sue someone for defamation if they damage your honor, aka public image, even if the statements are true. This one kind of blew my mind since I'm from the US and we understand defamation to be the oral or written communication of a false statement about another that unjustly harms their reputation and usually constitutes a tort or crime. But in Japan, hurting someone's honor or even hurting a company's honor is protected by law, despite the statements being true. I should note though that many laws in Japan leave a lot of gray area, but the main 3 criteria for defamation in Japan is 1. The statement is shared with the general public. 2. It reveals specific facts whether true or not. And 3. Damages one's honor, either socially, their value, or how they value themselves. So for example, telling your coworkers or the public that your married boss is having an affair with someone, even though it's completely true, is considered defamation in Japan. Even online statements, if the 3 previously mentioned criteria are met, can be considered defamation. There are exceptions though, such that your statement
But that's a thing in the U.S. too, right? Like defamation lawsuit
Yeah,
cases over
defamation
here.
of character.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people go crazy with that stuff online over here.
But what he was saying is it had to be something that was false or misleading. Here, it can still
No,
be.
they said it even if it's true. He just said
No,
that even
I-
if it's true.
Here, U.S. In the U.S., it's a false statement. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you can't have somebody out there just claiming false statements against you.
Right,
you can sue them
right,
for
right.
that.
Okay.
They're saying over there, even if
If
it's
it's
true. Right.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah.
facts about public interest, or you're a whistleblower to expose company fraud. But at the end of the day, the Japanese law is to protect individuals and companies from malicious actors that intend to do their honor or image harm. Here are 2 examples that actually happened in Japan. Case 1, in 2018, a person was having an affair and it was posted on social media by a third party. Although the affair was happening, the person sued the third party for defamation. The Tokyo District Court judged for the plaintiff and was awarded 100,000 yen, about 820
that much.
US dollars today.
Huh.
And case 2, a quasi-rape incident occurred in an event circle. Quasi-rape, by Japanese definition, is a crime of committing sexual intercourse, anal intercourse, oral sex with another who's passed out under the influence, such as alcohol, and lost consciousness to resist or was not able to resist. A magazine published an anonymous report about the incident without giving the subject's real name. In this case, although the incident happened and the subject was anonymous in the report, the court still awarded for the subject, as it was judged that the subject could be identified by judging the totality of the circumstances, and received a total of 4.4 million yen for defamation damages, about 36,000 US dollars. Maybe
So-
not necessarily illegal.
So he did.
So I've made videos before on
Sorry, Nicholas.
So he did the crime, and then still got awarded for the crime.
So, I guess so.
Wow.
Some crazy, crazy laws, huh?
So to like the upholding of character over there is super important and valuable. Like, do they have a credit score over there? Like the social credit score? Is that China?
China does that, I know. I don't know if they do that over there or not.
I'm not sure. Let us know down in the comments if Japan has a social credit score system as well. Because that would make sense while their laws are like that, you know, to keep everything up to
Right,
standard.
keep it.
But I can't say that for sure. I have no idea if that's a real thing over
Right.
there. But that's pretty wild, man. That's where we were.
All right.
damages, about 36,000 US dollars. Maybe not necessarily illegal around the world, but I thought this one was worth mentioning. So yeah, if you're in Japan and someone's talking that shiz, you may be able to do something about it. Before I continue on, I want to give a quick shout out to my regular sponsor, Buksu. If y'all don't already know, Buksu provide a gourmet experience of Japanese snacks and tea pairings delivered to your front door. They work with traditional Japanese factories, some over 100 years old, to provide you with authentic Japanese flavors. And each monthly box has its own unique theme, so you get new snacks each and every time. First time users will get a Seasons of Japan box, and after that you'll get a theme box like this one. These boxes are so awesome. You get this nice booklet to take you through each snack, as well as extra information about Japan and Japanese culture. You get 10 to 25 snacks in your box depending on the package you choose. And they're all handpicked from all over Japan to deliver you unique and local Japanese
That's
flavors.
pretty cool, man.
So get $15 off your own authentic Japanese subscription snack box from Buksu by using my code PALO15 and link in the description.
So that's pretty cool. So they send that, like, each month you get like a new box and whatever new items and stuff in there.
That's just one for Japan, yeah, but then there's another company that does it all around the world, so they'll get one from Japan, China, Germany, Ukraine, Russia, and you'll like get different snacks and snack items from all over the world.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Number 4. Food. Now this one is quite a sensitive topic for many people, so I'm going to try to tread lightly. In Japan, hunting whale and dolphins as well as eating seal and sea lion is completely legal. Although it's part of the diet for some Japanese, it's probably safe to say that most don't eat it regularly. Yet it's still easily found in shops and some restaurants. Even a quick search on Amazon will yield results for some of these animals. On the other hand, shark fin, also legal to eat in Japan, probably more commonly eaten, and I think it's fair to say that many Japanese consider it a delicious food, as it's easily found on menus, probably most commonly found in Chinese restaurants throughout Japan. But since it's such an expensive delicacy here, Japanese probably won't be eating it regularly. In regards to whaling specifically, Joji Morishita, who negotiated Japan's withdrawal from the International Whaling Commission, said in Japan the whale eating issue is a symbol of respect for...
I think Kujira, I not only know this because I invested in this crypto called Kujira, means whale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I just saw it on the sign there. It said Kujira.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One of the signs in the video?
Just like 10
really?
seconds ago, it said Kujira
how cool is that?
on the little billboard sign.
Oh, cool.
For different cultures, and many people in Japan think it's not right for people from outside to impose food culture on other places. Whether you agree with any of this or not, the simple fact is, at this time, it's legal to eat these foods here in Japan. And number 5, cigarettes. So these days, we all pretty much know that cigarettes are not that good for you. Many places around the world have laws protecting citizens, including children, from cigarettes and secondhand smoke. But Japan, although not there yet, is slowly catching up. There are still things that you can do legally here in Japan when it comes to cigarettes that aren't necessarily legal in other parts of the world. In Japan, you can still buy cigarettes from vending machines.
Oh my god,
that's crazy.
That's old school. That's like back in my day when I was a kid.
They had cigarette vending machines?
Yeah, vending machines everywhere. I mean, you just
so
go
like
up
a kid could walk up and just buy some cigs?
I mean, yeah, technically, if you had the money, you just
Bunch
put
of
the money in.
12-year-olds ripping cigs around the baseball park?
Like literally every bar you went to had machines in there, and you just go up to the machine, get your cigarettes out. So it's not like today where you have to go to a convenience store, show ID. No, you just go and put your money in and grab your cigarettes.
I wonder how much the cigarette companies lost in America once they started IDing everybody.
A lot of money.
They probably tanked.
Yes.
Because, they probably had like 12-year-olds buying cigarettes.
Probably.
Because my grandma, dude, back in the day said she used to smoke cigarettes at like 11 years old.
Yes. Well, some smaller, probably counties and stuff, what kids used to do, a parent, a mother, a father would write a note, give it to the kid, send the kid down to the store. The kid would give the note to the cashier and be like, yes, please give my son pack, Marlboro Lights, whatever.
Yeah.
They'd get the kid the change back, and then the kid would come home with the cigarettes.
Dude,
for mom
anybody
and
could
dad.
write a note.
Yeah, literally.
The kid could write a note.
Right. But that was things that happened in like probably smaller counties, not like big cities, I doubt. But
that's hilarious.
It's weird times, man.
Photo ID card and you're of age. Also, although most indoor smoking as of 2020 has been prohibited, you can still smoke in hotel rooms, cigar bars, and even some small sized restaurants and bars that were open before April 2020. I don't know though, I feel like there's still a lot of restaurants and bars all throughout Japan that were open before 2020. Either way, Japan has come a long way from where it was just a few years ago, when wherever you went indoors, you can pretty much smoke inside. Anyways, those are things that you can legally do in Japan that may be illegal in other parts of the world. If you guys like this video, like always, help me out and hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos like this or anything related to Japan, hit that subscribe button and the bell button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Wow, that was actually
good.
You don't have to press that.
That was really good.
That was fascinating. Like, the cigarette thing obviously is pretty crazy, but it's not too crazy considering that's how it used to be back in the U.S.
Yeah.
You know, they even used to smoke on planes too back in the day,
I know,
right?
everywhere. Smoke in your car, smoke in planes, smoke in restaurants and stores and stuff. And like, that's the one thing I'm glad they got rid of is like restaurants. Like, I hated that, trying to eat and then somebody's next to you blowing smoke all around you while you're eating. Like that.
Yeah, it's gross.
Pretty nasty.
Yeah, but those are fascinating, especially the whale ones. Like, they eat whale and dolphin over there still,
It's
and like
illegal pretty much everywhere else.
I know the U.S. hates that stuff.
I
Like, they
know.
have documentaries on it all the time, like
Yeah.
how mad they are, and it's
Yeah.
like, I get it, bro. Like, other countries have different cultures. They eat different things. Like, even the horse. Like, eating horse here is not very common at all.
No, I don't think I've ever heard of anything in America where you're eating horse.
No.
But it's common in other countries.
Or dog. Dog, too.
Yeah,
they
dog,
eat dog
too.
and cat in other countries as
Yeah.
well, like China. And
Mhm.
I don't know if Japan eats dog or cat, but I know just China, it's pretty common to eat that stuff over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think the whale thing really pisses people off here in America
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, we don't want them to go extinct and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna go extinct, bro. The ocean is massive. Like,
It is
absolutely
massive. But sometimes countries go overboard with overfishing, though.
Yeah.
And they can ruin whole ecological systems because of that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, guys, let us know in the comments what was the weirdest law out of all of these. Like, what do you guys think it was?
The 13-year-old for me. That
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
dude, I forgot about because that one was at the very
first
beginning.
one.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I
that's-
take that back. I would say it would go the 13-year-old age limit for
Yes.
me would be the first one, and the whale one would be the second one, and then the smoking would be the
Yes.
third one for me.
I'm right there with you.
The defamation case was pretty crazy too. Like,
Yeah.
that, true or false. Like,
Right.
you say something,
That one
and
guy
you
got
could get-
36 grand.
Yeah,
That's
for doing
insane.
some weird stuff.
Crazy world.
Hey, to each culture their own. I'm not here to judge. I just
Nope.
think I think some of them are pretty crazy. But like I said, leave down in the comments what you think is the craziest one out of all of these. With that being said, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we will see you on the next one.
Peace.